welcome to a panel discussion really inside the boardroom, how innovation happened. It's really a pleasure to have our three guests here. I'll introduce them all separately. To my left is Pavlo Shimata. To his left is Dan Pascoe, who's the co-managing partner of Diligent Capital Partners. To Dan's left is Adger Hudson. Adger is the COO of Exactor, and he's from Norway. But I went back to find that this ad was a 1905 advertisement for contract manufacturing. Let us act as your factory. So even in 1905, you had this idea of outsourcing in the marketplace, but it really didn't take hold until recently.
We think that the value innovation in Exactor, this is our business model. We have a structure where we have two main categories. We have what we call the operating model, where we drive the business after every day, and we have the same for IT. We have defined 10 main categories for IT, which we think we run this almost every day. We have a follow-up with each of the countries monthly to go through where we are. We have a maturity level 1 to 5. In each of the areas, and then we drive this almost at a daily basis. That is what we call value innovation within Exactor.
As a private equity investor, I look through a very simple prism that we come in, we buy an asset, and within a 5-year period, we need to increase the value of that asset, and then we have to sell it. So when I'm looking at a decision like that, I'm looking from a perspective, does it increase the value of the business? Usually the value of the business is increased in just 3 ways. First is, does it raise revenue? Well, outsourcing probably doesn't raise revenue. Does it eliminate cost? Outsourcing should eliminate cost. So from that perspective, reduce cost. From that perspective, as a private equity investor, definitely yes. This value innovation would really something be which would resonate with me.
So we are now around 1,000 people, as Michael mentioned, in 5 countries. We have around 10 people in IT, and we will not be more. So we have a clear partnership with Miratech and an infrastructure partner where we outsource as much as we can. And based on our discussions earlier today, what is this about? This is about trust. This is really about trust.
But inside we call ourselves the king of outsourcers, the king of outsourcing. And why? We were asking ourselves, are we in a business of owning warehouses? No, we're not. So we rented all the warehouses. Are we in a business of owning postal offices? No, we rented all 2,500 postal offices across the country. Are we in a business of owning trucks? No, we're not in a business of owning trucks. So we didn't own almost none of the trucks. In which business is Nova Pošta? Nova Pošta is in the business of making all this work together in the best possible way, so a package is delivered from one place to another within 24 hours. And that's what Nova Pošta is focusing on making those things work together. Not owning them, but actually making them work together. So the key decision there was, what is our core value add? What is our core, what is the core of our business? And it's not in owning everything and not in doing everything ourselves, but in actually making it all work together. And that's what the company is focusing on. Most of the companies in the world do not value innovate, right now. So yes, we have great examples of great successes which value innovate, but if you take global GDP, to be honest, I think that 90+% of global GDP does not value innovate.
Basically 2 conditions. When it needs to be a necessary core competence. Okay? Number 1 is lousy industry conditions. So basically, the symphony orchestra music as an industry is a dying. At least it's not an attractive industry, right? A part of very few, very prestigious venues. So if you have lousy conditions in the industry, then obviously that becomes a necessary core competency. The second condition is industry might be fine altogether, but you lack resources, either for high differentiation or low cost because you don't have the scale needed for low cost. in that case, again, it's a core competency because you cannot have this clear positioning in this red ocean. Okay? So if you don't have that, you don't have resources to have highest differentiation, or you don't have a scale for the low cost needed, then value innovation is your only path to survival.
If we don't innovate and make the core collection system more efficient, then we are out of business soon. So it's clear we need to be innovative, to make new solutions, to be on the edge all the time.